Mr. Buck Davis, what you got for us this week, brother?
All right, the first one I have came from spar3d.com. And James, this is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I know that says a lot. But when we think about all this stuff that we do, and we talk about laser scanning, we talk about 2D documents, 3D models, everything under the sun. I'm looking at what Revizto did here, merging 2D and 3D data, not plans and models, but actual data. Just looking at this page, we're taking a laser scan, overlaying a model with a 2D detail sheet, highlighting what components are going where. This is bringing all the data that we could possibly get our hands on at any given point in time to the person with the iPad at the computer. I've been a huge fan of laser scanning. The biggest problem is it dies on the computer of the person that has recap, right? Very, very challenging to get it to the field. Even more challenging to get it to the field with context. And that's exactly what they're doing here, bringing 2D information to a 3D model and 3D laser scan. We talked about the duality of virtual construction building and a actual construction of a building. And this seems to be like Revisto's got their hand on merging those two. You're looking at the reality of construction over the virtual model with the construction documents, which for me, man, that's a home run. Huge shout out to Brett Settles and the team over at Revisto. This is really cool, and I sorry to all my other friends that have software companies. I love y'all's products; it's amazing. But this really had my jaw drop yesterday when I saw this.
Yeah, so Revisto's really done some neat things in general with model viewing and really macro collaboration tools, right? The ability
Right.
to take your super detailed model, share and sync it into the cloud, and then have people collaborate by walking through it in VR. I believe there's VR functionality, and then you have the on-screen functionality. But this is like hyper modeling on steroids. They're calling it hyperfusion. That sounds like a warp core reactor for Star Trek. So I'm just gonna say it's hypermodeling version 2.0 because being and hypermodeling. If I remember correctly, Bentley really pioneered the concept of hypermodeling when they took CAD, so 2D CAD data, and then overlaid it on 3D model data. But that was just the design file. So it was the design CAD with the design model so that you could see the detail sheet overlaid on the cross section view of a model, right, Buck?
Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. I think the other thing that really puts this in the next level is the issue tracking with that. So you make an issue on a 2D set of plans. It also exists and shows up in the 3D world. So, we're not really, looking at a 2D or 3D workflow. We're looking at a data workflow, right? How do we see the information we need from the best context?
So, guys, if you watch this, I actually put this up during the Oakland show because when I saw it too, Buck, it blew my mind what they were doing. And for everybody listening, when you check out the article, some of the stuff you're seeing is actually on an iPad as well. This is not just being done in the in the back office on a computer with everybody looking over each other's shoulder. This is going to the field for real. And the for someone like me who, I've been learning laser scanning from all of you guys and learning the fusion of all of this stuff and how it comes together. This was the first time I've seen, and I mean, I had to have Josh Bone up on stage to kind of explain and walk through with it. But the fact that this is on an iPad makes it even more usable. And if you're, touching and working through it, it's super smooth to go all the way through, whether you're in the reality capture side, whether you're in the 2D side, whether you're marking up, whether you're putting data in it. I couldn't believe it, man. This was like the culmination of all the different solutions we see coming together in portable.
Yeah, yeah, but it's what is incredible about this is that it's scan data. So it's it's scan data. This is not the design model. It's the as built, and then you're overlaying detail sheets in three-dimensional space. So a sheet becomes a 3D object. Like, what do I do with my hands, Buck? What do I do with my hands? And then
It's so impressive.
yeah,
I
and
mean,
then
James,
well,
I don't even know how to do it.
yeah, but then the annotation. So the annotation and markup on this. So when you create an issue, the annotation doesn't snap to the model or to the page. It actually exists independently in three-dimensional space. So if you remove the sheet, you still see all the annotations, markup, and comments. So it's not like an annotated PDF where it adheres to the two-dimensional surface of the object. And so just think this will be phenomenal for closeout eventually, right? So this is gonna be big for closeout, Satyam, but FYI, check that one out. And it'll be phenomenal for issue tracking. It's phenomenal for as built documentation. There's a lot of really good use cases, like where does the issue exist, who owns the issue, what's each issue about, I guess more than anything, tools like this give context, right, Buck? They give you context where it is and what's it about and what's around it.
Completely. Without the context, it's just kind of a flashy item. Like looking at a laser scan is great. Once you have context, it's very, very valuable for quality control. And jumping on to the next one, and James, I'm really interested to hear what you have to say because I know we're both photogrammetry geeks.